Yo, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Des Rocksteady, king of the Pit TV, signing in. Hopefully you can hear me. I knackered my microphone, so I've had to replace it. Well, I say replace it. I've already had this microphone, and I just know it's probably not up to par, but it's the best I can do. This goes out to Marcus Jones, who's recommended this via the Patreon. Says, "Bro, you gotta check out the Dead Milkmen." I know this is an underrated record, and I say it's an underrated record because you just cannot find a playlist whatsoever of this record on YouTube. There's no playlist, so I'm going to have to do it track by track. But with that being said, we're going to delve into it. But also with that being said, there might be a change in song quality as we go through, depending on who's uploaded and how they've uploaded it. And hopefully we've got all of the tracks on YouTube. I'd be surprised if we didn't, but this is the 93 record by the Dead Milkmen. The only tune I know by the Dead Milkmen is that Punk Rock Girl song, and I think it was because it was on a, was it on the Tony Hawk soundtrack? I think the Dead Milkmen were definitely on the Tony Hawk soundtrack, but I forgot which track it was. This is going to be quite a good listen, to be honest with you. I reckon this is going to be a band that will hopefully be my style, alright? So, let me just make sure everything's good to go. And this first song's entitled Lego My Ego. Lego!
My subconscious mind has got me in a bind. Your love made me blind. Let go my ego. I feel the cold wind blow. It feels like taking me low.
Little bit of Buzzcocks, don't you think?
I'm feeling oh so low. Let go my ego. I need some recreation. I got some strange sensations. I keep you with relations. Now my super ego is saying no, no, no. Think I'll listen in on my crazy ear. I don't know what I did. Let go my ego. I'm beginning to lose my patience. I'm feeling some bad vibrations. Wanna join the United Nations. My psychoanalyst says I have a low self-esteem. My psychoanalyst wants to know what I dream. What does it mean? I just want out alive. I'm trying to survive. It's like a real life game, a stratego. I keep hitting the
I like this band's sound. I'm sure we've got better tracks than this coming up, but I don't know, it's a fun jam band, you know. Nice guitar tones, nothing too serious, you know. Let's play a few chords, jam it out, have a little bit of a noodle. It is Buzzcocks-esque, definitely on the vocal line.
bomb and I can't stay calm. I wanna call my mom. Let go my ego. I need a long vacation. I'm feeling bad vibrations. I can't deal with the nations. My psychoanalyst says I gotta tend my mind. Like a garden, I gotta weed it from time to time. I'm feeling deep, deep blue. I don't know what to do. Oh, honey, where are you? Let go my ego. I got some good advice, but at a heavy price. I'm trying to act real nice. Let go my ego.
Wah, wah. It sounds like we've got a guitar fading in, like played backwards, very lightly in the mix.
Let go my ego. Let go my ego. Let go my ego. Let go my ego.
Pretty cool start to the record. I appreciate the song length. That's why I think I'm going to really like this band. Because we've got a good sound. Interesting songwriting from what I've heard of the band so far. And 2 minutes 20. What's not to love? Let's keep on going. I'll see you on the next track. Yes, now bless now people. Don't forget the rest now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to the Dead Milkmen today. Not the Dead Milkman, but the Dead Milkmen. Alright. This is track number 2 off of the record. Let me get myself in. This is track numero 2 off of Not Richard But Dick, the 7th album by the Dead Milkmen, released in '93. This one's entitled I Dream of Jesus. Let's go.
It was during my second senior year when Mom found Jesus Christ. His spirit was trapped inside inside an old Manischewitz bottle that Mom picked out of the dumpster behind the 7-Eleven. Mom brought the bottle inside and set it down on top of the TV. Then she told all of us kids to gather around. And then she explained how Jesus lived in the bottle, and how if she wanted to, she could call him out to do her bidding. Sis said it reminded her of an old TV show.
Gaming with Tom Mike says, this was back when punk still meant something. And someone says it most certainly did mean something. I know. I'm 15 and punk these days is garbage. And then Emma, the Swamp Witch, says, how's punk 4 years later? There's still punk rock people. I'm not even going to hate. It's just down to naivety. There's not necessarily punk rock, you know, just for like, this is a punk rock band, but the punk rock energy, the punk rock spirit, the punk rock values still live on through every single mean it initially lived on from, you know?
And Mom slapped her and called her a heretic. I didn't say anything, because I just still
I'm bold in saying that because I know it's true. I see it around me every single day.
remember that time outside the Safeway when I took 4 security guards to hold Mom down.
Jesus loves me, yes I know. For the Bible tells me so. When I'm weak, He makes me strong. That's why I
Great chorus.
if I die before I wake, pray to me, my soul will take. Jesus loves
Sounds like No Effects, doesn't it?
me, yes I know.
It wasn't long before people from all over the world started coming to our house to see the bottle. At first I thought that this would make it
Very unique, the dissonant dong, dong, dong.
popular at school, but instead it seemed to have the opposite result. Kids would stop in the halls and point at me and say, there's the boy whose mother keeps our Savior cooped up in that tiny little bottle. And then everybody started calling me Bottle Boy, and that really hurt. It was also around this time that Mom began to attract some pretty weird followers, like that guy who never used deodorant and spoke only in riddles, and that woman who collected 19th century handmade Amish swimwear.
Jesus loves me, yes I know. For the Bible tells me so. When I'm weak, He makes me strong. That's why I sing this song. If I die before I wake, pray to me.
I like the tempo this band plays at as well. Just not like super fast and definitely not slow. It's a great tempo, man. It's a great tempo for songwriting.
My soul will take. Jesus loves me, yes I know.
Mommy, she loved Jesus, but not like others did, for she had a special bottle in which our Savior lived. Mommy, she loved Jesus, but not like others did, for she could unleash His vengeance by unfastening the lid. As the year went on, things went from bad to worse, and I realized if there wasn't a big change pretty soon, I'd never be able to get a date for the prom. I couldn't go the year before because Mom belonged to a church that considered dancing a one-way ticket to hell, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, by this point, Mom had appeared on The Richard Bay Show, AM Philadelphia, and Herald.
Some of my friends would consider this cowpunk, by the way, due to the nature of that snare drum.
So there was no
What do you
use
think
in
to
me
that?
changing schools since everybody knew who my mom was. Also, we had to spend all the money for Mom's personal appearances to hire a bodyguard, since by this point, we were getting about 400 death threats a day.
Jesus loves me, yes I know. For the Bible tells me so. When I'm weak, He makes me strong. That's why I sing this song. If I die before I wake, pray to me, my soul will take. Jesus loves me, yes I know.
Then, one night, I just couldn't stand it anymore. While everyone else was sleeping, I crept downstairs. Slowly, I went up to the bottle and began to unfasten the lid. At first, nothing happened, but then the room filled with a thick, white smoke. I was glad my sister had taken the batteries out of the smoke detector to put near a Walkman. When the smoke cleared, I found myself face to face with the Son of God, who was much shorter than I had expected. He told me that since I'd freed him, he'd grant me one wish, and that's how I got to go to the prom with Gina Davis. But you probably already read about that in People.
Jesus loves me, yes I know. For the Bible tells me so. When I'm weak, He makes me strong. That's why I sing this song. If I die before I wake, pray to me, my soul will take. Jesus loves me, yes I know.
Mommy, she loved Jesus, but not like others did, for she has a special bottle in which our Savior lived. Mommy, she loved Jesus, but not like others did, for she could unleash His vengeance by unfastening the lid. Mommy, she loved Jesus, but not like others did, for she had a special bottle in which our Savior lived. Mommy, she loved Jesus, but not like others did, for she could unleash His vengeance by unfastening the lid.
Very good. I Dream of Jesus. That wasn't a bad number at all, was it? I'm looking forward to the rest of the tracks. This has been easy listening so far, in the best sort of way. It's been fun to listen to. It's been my cup of tea. let's keep on going. We got track number 3 coming up, which I don't know yet until I get onto it. See you then. Mic check. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Jason's Head is the title of this one. We're listening to the Dead Milkmen, as you know. This is track number 3. Off of the record, not Richard, but Dick. Let's go. They got a tune called Taking Retards to the Zoo. Hey! They got a tune called Right Wing Pigeons. Get back!
Jason said he's gonna get you in the bed, but when he does, in the morning you'll begin.
Come on.
Jason can be a friend to the end. She said, Jason, close your eyes and count to 10. I think it's obvious. Jason got real pissed about all the guys she kissed. We're going down, down, down to the ditch where she said she hid.
Who's it sound like? Oh man, there's this. You know what? This has got a bordering on a twee pop sort of vibe. Twee pop, power pop, garage rock. There's band that did their record called Gas Station or something. It was hard, man. I'm not going to talk about it, but it was a great song. Remind me of that band. Forgot who did it.
She was out with a guy in her backyard getting high. Jason said he'd drop by. He came over for a swim. He was looking mighty trim. A shot of jealousy stabbed him. And I think it's obvious. Jason got real pissed about all the guys she kissed. We're going down, down, down to the ditch where she said she hid what's left of Jason's head. What's left of Jason's head? What's left of Jason's head? When you wake up with the sun, your world will be undone. Like a bullet in a gun, you'll be waiting to be sprung. Jason's head will not be found. Keep it buried in the ground. Never stick to your plan. Wipe the blood off of your hand.
Once again, good tune, good energy. 3 chords, little tap. Not the best track on the record. The one before this was a lot better. But hey, I'm not complaining. That was a good tune. This is a good record. This is a good record. I will listen to more Dead Milkmen, to be honest with you. This is a good record. Let's keep going. Yes, now, bless now. Don't forget rest now. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. Dead Milkmen is who we are listening to tonight. The record is not Richard, but Dick. This one is entitled Not Crazy. Let's go. I'm not crazy. Track number 4. This is a great sound. This band's got a great approach to things. This is my kind of music. This is definitely my kind of music, man.
This is living. I've got everything I want at my fingertips.
I mean, the tongue-in-cheek lyrical content and whatnot, you know, maybe not as much so, but as far as the instrumental and even the vocal approach, from what I've heard sometimes, like the choruses, the melodies, very good.
Just have to clap and lights turn on. I've got several piles of records, I don't know which one I'll put on next. I've got 100 subscriptions to magazines I'll never read. I like man, staring at the toys on my wall, wondering what can be swallowed or take out an eyeball, or what the people in China think about these things when they make them. I'm not crazy, I'm idiot, hating the thought of going insane. The ball game must be over now. Maybe they'll show a movie from the 80s, and I'll imagine what it would be like to live back then at the age I am now. I'm staring at the back of her head, trying to make her turn around, feeling the meat on my cat, wondering what it would be like to cook her, but I won't, 'cause that would cause a terrible fuss among my friends. And I'm not crazy, I'm merely entertaining the thought of going
Someone says one of the most underrated bands of all time.
insane. I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, I'm not
Funny, somebody says my favourite DM song, which obviously stands for Dead Milkman, but could also stand for death metal.
crazy. I'm not crazy, 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 I'm not crazy.
I like these guys, man. I like these guys. They don't mess around. They just write half decent songs, you know. Few guitar chords, nice drum beat, a little bit of an upbeat to it. I don't ever want anything more. I'm impressed. I am impressed. This has been a great listen through so far. Let's continue on to track number 5, okay? Yes, now, bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. We're listening to the Dead Milkmen. Track number 5 of the 7th album. It's not Richard, but Dick. Let's Get the Baby High is the title of the track. I've been enjoying this so far, but this is so underrated that there's not actually a playlist composed with all of their songs on. Can you believe it?
She looked like a corpse on my front porch, clutching the song of her latest divorce, saying, "Let's get the baby high."
A little big, let me in. I traded food stamps for a bottle of gin. Come on, let's get the baby high.
Someone like you to get custody of an innocent child's a tragedy. Go get your baby high.
Oh, just open up, I've got nowhere to go. My man threw me out and it's starting to snow. So let's get the baby high.
I don't mean to question your parenting skills, but I'm really amazed that kid hasn't been killed. Please don't get your baby high.
For someone like you to criticize me is really the height of hypocrisy. So let's get the baby high.
A little bit of the crucifix in the vocal approach to this one, I find.
There's no way in hell I'll open my door. I still have pictures from the time
Which is another very underrated band. Forgotten to time for the most part.
Yes, I traded my oldest for a couple of lists, but it's none of your business how I raise my kids. Now let's get the baby high.
For someone like you to get custody of an innocent child's a that kid, this really is sin. You're still getting your baby high.
For someone like you to criticize me is really the height of hypocrisy. Now let's get the baby high.
She still stood like a corpse on my front porch, still clutching the spawn of her latest divorce, saying that's just a baby high.
Good songwriting, lyrically. You know, phrasing's really good. Rhyming scheme's really good. As far as the song itself, I thought that was a bad song. I'm too old to listen to it like that, to be honest with you. It's not my cup of tea. That's the only criticism I've got on this entire record so far. I'd throw this as a B-side, perhaps. Let's keep on moving to the next track. Yo, yes now, bless now, there's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV, listening to the Dead Milkmen tonight, okay? This one's entitled Little Volcano. It's track number 6 on Not Richard But Dick, the 7th, from what I'm aware, album by the band. Let's jump in. Devoted to Marcus Jones. Thank you very much, Marcus. Marcus recommended this on the Patreon, and we're blasting through it. It's a nice, easy listening record, you know.
He's spoiled on the inside, something from his past. Come on the surface, but that's never gonna last. Say one wrong word, something nobody knew. What's in his head? No one has a clue. He's a little volcano. Watch him blow his mind. He walks the earth. Fire's burning inside. Little volcano. Watch the lava flow. What makes him mad? I'll never know. Don't push him too far. Stay out of his way. With his fire and hair, he's coming to play. You said the wrong thing. Now he's
I like how these dudes just have fun, you know. I'm not a big fan of novelty, you know, like comedy stuff. But they don't go so far into it that it turns me off. Like, it's not all a joke. The music's good. The music is good.
face. He just might explode. You're getting on his case. He's a little volcano. Watch him blow his mind. He walks the earth. Fire's burning inside. Little volcano. Watch the lava flow. What makes him mad? I'll never know. Little volcano. No, no, no. Little volcano. Go, go, go. Little volcano. He's gotta blow. He's a little volcano. Watch him blow his mind. He wants the earth. Fire's burning inside. Little volcano. Watch the lava flow. What makes him mad? I'll never know. Little volcano. Watch him blow his mind. He wants the earth. Fire's burning inside. Little volcano. Watch the lava flow. What makes him mad? You'll never know.
He's a little volcano. It wasn't a bad little number. It's funny how even with like a 2, if not a 3 chord progression, they can sort of turn it into something more. You know, we had a nice moving bass line there, which was sort of shifting most of the rhythmic elements back and forth on the little keyboard there as well. That was Little Volcano. Wasn't the best track, but it was definitely better than that Baby one. Let's keep on moving. Yes, now bless now. Don't forget to rest now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. For Dead Milkmen. Nobody Falls Like is the title of this track. Track number 7, I believe. We're listening to Not Richard But Dick. It was recommended by Marcus on the Patreon. Nice easy listen. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Bap, bap. Bap, bap. Good tune. That would have been like the best track on the record given the vocal effect was off. If they just kept the vocal normal, that would have been the best track on the record. Great energy, great sing-along value, just fantastic. Nice and simple to the point, which is what we're expecting of this act from here on in. That would have just been really good if we removed the telephone sort of filter off of that vocal line. Let's keep moving on forward, shall we, people? Yes, now bless now. Don't forget to rest now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. This is devoted to Marcus Jones. We're listening to the Dead Milkmen. In particular, it's the Not Richard But Dick record. This one is entitled I Started to Hate You. Let's go.
This song fits the mood I'm in. Try and push something out of the pen. Don't know how, where or when. I started to hate you, 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 I started to hate you. It's kinda hard to explain. Your stories are never what you claim. After I played your little game, I started to hate you, I started to hate you, started to hate you, I 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 started to hate you. You used to be my friend. All those letters that you'd send, suddenly they stopped, and then I started to hate you, 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 I started
While my guitar gently weeps, vibes on that chord progression and guitar tone.
to hate you. I thought you were so cool. I wish that I went to your school. Then I broke my only rule. I started to hate you, I started to hate you, started to hate you, I 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 started to hate you.
That outro was quite punk rock, right? Emphasised the punk rock value of the band. That was a good tune. Yeah, that was a good tune. Even though you got 3 chords, the way they were played and the guitar tones, they're quite Britpop-esque in my opinion. Yeah, quite fruity. I enjoyed it a lot. We even had a couple of modulations in there, which was a little bit abnormal for the band, but it came across quite well. I thought that was quite good. The chorus, yeah. But as far as the actual song as a whole, yeah, it was quite good, quite cohesive. Let's keep moving forwards. Yes, now bless now people. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. Listening to the Dead Milkmen tonight. This one's entitled The Infant of Prague. Customised my van. Searching for this one, I came across a couple of historic videos for the Infant of Prague. I didn't stop by to make sense out of it all, but let's continue onwards. Might be track 10. Possibly. Let's go. We're listening to the whole record, not Richard but Dick.
St. Teresa, the Sacred Heart, in 1783. Her body was found incorrupt with no sign of decay. St. Francis Xavier got dug up in 1975. All the priests were really relieved when he looked like he was still alive. Believe it or not, some saints don't rot, their bodies don't decay. While most of us just turn to dust shortly after we pass away.
Little country twang to this.
Looks mighty fresh though she's been dead for years. Her cheeks still have a pinkish hue and there's color in her ears. St. Joseph looked like a drowned rat when they fetched him out of the river. Yet after a week he didn't even reek and that made the heathen shiver. Honest to God, you can lay him inside and coffins made of wood.
Austin Powers uploaded this.
And when they're into,
Groovy, baby.
when they're into, they'll still look pretty good. Believe it or not, some saints don't rot, their bodies don't decay. While most of us just turn to dust shortly after we pass away. Saint Andrew was flayed alive and his tongue ripped from his head. Yet everyone who saw him agreed that he looked even better dead. Saint Catherine Labouré is tucked away in a tiny church in Paris, which looks pretty neat. I'm afraid they cheated. She's filled with carbolic acid. Honestly, God, you can lay him inside in coffins made of wood. And when they're in simple, they're in tune, they still look pretty good. Saints preserve us.
Nice little ditty that. Nice little ditty. Almost a little bit of a history lesson there. I don't know the story behind it. Let's see if we've got out in the Saints Preservers. Rodney is the greatest theology of our era. I'm sure this song will endure with all the great hymns. One quibble. He could have thrown in a plug for St. Albert the Great. The details aren't that spectacular, but he's on the list. There we go. Let's finish this record off. I think we've got one more track to go, people. It's been a very easy listen, I'll tell you that. And then afterwards we're going to rate the record out of 10, and I'll give you my final overview of what I thought of it. Yes, now bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. I think we might have saved the best to last on this record. We've been listening to the Dead Milkmen with their record, Not Richard But Dick. It's been a good listen, and it was recommended on the Patreon by my good friend Marcus, who's put me onto some good records, to be honest with you. So, shall we continue onwards? This got 115,000 views, which makes me think this is probably the best on the record, or at least it's the most favoured by the people. Let's find out why.
She was once an attraction at the county fair, and now she sleeps in a box at the top of the stairs.
A little bit of a Bob Dylan approach to the vocal liner.
She can earn her keep by chasing snakes. And if I wake up late at night, I know that everything will be alright. 'Cause crawling around on my roof is a woman who is also a mongoose.
Come on.
She was born in May 19 years ago in a little town outside Buffalo. But the townfolk feared her and they chased her away. And now she's happy with the place to stay. And if I wake up late at night, I know that everything will be alright. 'Cause crawling around on my roof.
I do like it when you don't necessarily have to up the ante too much when you hit that chorus, but just a little raise in the melody, just a little backing vocal, nothing crazy, just something a little light, you know.
Is a woman who is also a
If you can hear noise in the background, it's because England are playing in the cup tonight.
mongoose.
But I'm spending the night with you people, alright? Come on.
She trapped a rattler out behind the barn. And then she let it go without any harm. And she came inside for a cup of tea. Then she spoke for a while with my brother and me. Chasing after field mice, running through the high grass, that's what she loves to do.
Loves to do.
And is she's happy as a mongoose, shouldn't bother me or you.
Nice.
And if I wake up late at night, I know that everything will be alright. 'Cause crawling around on my roof is a woman who is also a mongoose.
That was really good. That was really good. A band like this is special, man. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why when I finish off. I don't want to give it all away right now. I've got one more video coming up where I'm going to talk about my final overview of the record. Let's see what I finally thought. But that was a great track. That was a great track. I liked the writing. I liked the way it was structured. I liked the calmness of the vocal. I loved the vocal approach. That was a great tune. I completely understand why this had the most views on the record. I thought that was a really good track. I'm going to finish this off. Let's keep going. Yes, now bless now people. Don't forget to rest now. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. Signing in. We just listened to the Dead Milkmen. The record in question was Not Richard But Dick. It was recommended on the Patreon by my friend Marcus Jones, who put me onto a little bit of Beach Bunny as of recent as well. He's got a couple more recommendations as well I'm going to blast through. But this was a good record. Had a little Wikipedia beforehand. Well, I say beforehand. I just wanted to know where it was as far as on YouTube, because this must be so underrated that nobody has made a playlist. So I had to find the songs each and individually as opposed to have it all flow through as I normally do. This is the very first time that this has happened, so that says a lot, doesn't it? Given that the Dead Milkmen are definitely a band that have come up on my radar multiple times. For this album to just be left to the side like that says a lot as far as its popularity was concerned. But this was a great record. I enjoyed this. This is a record which I can see people finding average. But to me, it really tickles me where I want it. I'm not going to lie to you. I got some live reactions out there as well. So it tickled me where I wanted because I like 3-chord, power pop-esque, indie rock-esque, garage rock-esque. You know, call it punk rock if you wanna. But that sound, like that twee pop, that twinkling, overdriven guitar, just 3 chords and a good vocal line, good songwriting, that's exactly what I need. An up-tempo, man, you know what I mean? Nothing so just up-tempo all the time, not blazing fast, but up-tempo, don't need to go over 3 minutes for the most part. Perfect, that suits me to a T, right? So this was a good record. I can't tell you how many tracks we had on it, I think it was 11. The comedy element of it, I'm not too fussed, but they didn't really go overboard with the comedy. I think the writing as a whole sort of overweighed that, overwrote it, if that was the right word to use. Sort of kept it at bay, which was very good. Instrumentally, I really liked it. I thought the instrumental and the writing as a whole, the way they structured the songs, the tempo of the songs, the guitar tones, and the way the band gelled together, the drummer knew exactly what to do. The bassist sort of held most of the movement as far as the instrumental, because the guitar lines were, just a few chords, few cowboy chords, few open chords for the most part. And I got to put some respect on that. If I'm going to rate this record, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. And I'll give it a 6.5 because I think there's room for improvement. I think in this discography, there's going to be better records. I keep seeing this record, Big Lizard in my backyard, 21 songs on it. I want to check that out, and I think I might do so on my own accord, because I enjoyed this listen through. I thought it was really good. I could give it more, but I feel I would do the rest of the bands I've given a good rating disservice in comparison to this record, because I have listened to some really good records over this channel, so I don't want to, place it up there with them records. But this was a great experience, and I got to give props to Marcus for putting this forward. With that being said, we're going to move on forward. Let's check out the Wikipedia, see if there's any history about this record. That is quite interesting. Yo, what's good, people? There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV signing in. We listened to Not Richard But Dick, the album by the Dead Milkmen. It was recommended on the Patreon by my subscriber and great friend Marcus. Thank you very much for that, my man. With that being said, let's find some information in regards to this band. See if there's anything interesting we can pick up on. So, Not Richard But Dick is the 7th studio album by the Dead Milkmen, released in 93 by Hollywood Records. So I wonder when this band started for them to put 7 albums out by 93. Like Soul Rotation, this album was a commercial disappointment. Which one was Soul Rotation? Soul Rotation was the 6th studio album. They've got a thing with cool artwork, I think, this band. I think the band's got a cool style as far as the artwork is concerned. After being out of print for years, Hollywood Records released the album for digital download on April 2nd, 2013. The title of the album is not a reference to Tricky Dick Nixon, former President of the United States, President Richard M. Nixon, but rather a person by the name of Richard J. Dick Latch, who preferred to be addressed as Not Richard But Dick. So it was released on October the 12th, 93. Genre is punk rock, comedy rock, alternative rock and indie rock. It's only 27 minutes 56, which is fantastic. Definitely want to check out some more Dead Milkmen. I like that. This band is up my alley, man. Producer was the Dead Milkmen and John Lupfer, so it's arguably self-produced. That's what they're saying. Production, yeah, we just read that. Critical reception, Trouser Press wrote that the simplified Not Richard But Dick favours the down-the-hatch indie rock, which suits the Milkmen fine but doesn't make for an entertaining as an experience. The Philadelphia Inquirer wrote that the band expresses the discontent of today's teens and 20-somethings with a vividness rarely summoned by even conscientiously righteous rockers. The Tampa Bay Times thought that the Milkmen have always had problems making their punkish songs live up to the great titles. On Not Richard But Dick, they again weigh in with some classic bits of satire but fall short on a few other occasions. The Scripps Howard News Service deemed the album a goofy palette of cultural references sure to prompt laughter and groans. You know what? I know it would detract what the band is, so it is what it is, but I feel like if they weren't cracking jokes and not being goofy, it'd be a lot better. It would be a whole lot better, because like if they still had the same unique creativity, but applied it in a sense where it was just, non-comical songs, approached in their particular manner, and they just kept the same instrumental and melodic concepts, I think it would be way better. But that's my personal taste. Ratings were bad, so All Music gave it 1.5 out of 5. Calgary gave it B, which is alright. Encyclopedia of Popular Music, 3 out of 5. Essential Album Guide gave it 1 out of 5. Jeez, they got butchered, eh? Philadelphia Inquirer, 2 out of 4. Tampa Bay Times, 3 out of 5. So, not the worst, but, you know, a couple of them had a bit of a laugh at their expense. From there, we had Chaos Rules live at the Trocadero, a live album. And yeah, I'm gonna check out more of this band because I liked it. This tickled me. And if the band's got better records or, you know, more pop friendly records, hey, that'll be down my aisle. So I'm gonna go and move on and try find that. I'll see you on the flip side, people. Peace.